All right, everybody. Good evening. Can I have a motion to open the work session?
So, the policy discusses that property owned and managed by the town, including but not limited to a kiosk, flagpole, social media page, or town website, collectively municipal infrastructure, are not per se public forums, as the use of such property is within the direct control of the town. Municipal infrastructure is not intended to serve as a public forum, and any information posted or conveyed on municipal infrastructure is being done as official municipal action by the town board and is considered government speech. Lastly, this policy on municipal infrastructure is not intended to supersede or replace any other policies or rules adopted by the town of Newcastle, specifically as it pertains to banners, signage, or the use of other municipal facilities. And so this would be in addition to our sign and banner policy and also the rules and regulations as pertains to rentals of Chapac. Okay, so this policy would simply complement what we already have.
Okay, any questions?
No, seems
Okay,
seems
then
to
we'll
me
have a
there was
resolution on for the latter part of the meeting that adopts this.
Thanks, Joe.
The next are a series of administrative items, and we've got quite a few, so I apologize, this is our last meeting of the year, so we've done our best to sort of capture everything. First has to do with changes to the preliminary budget. Rob, can you just talk briefly about what those modest changes are?
You know, we talked last week about a couple of salary changes for building inspector and town engineer. So those are incorporated into this and it actually it does not result in any change to any of the total appropriations, levies, tax rate, anything like that. It's just we offset some of the lines with reductions in other lines.
Next is our payment of claims. We're gonna have checks dated on November 13th, 2023, and before we leave the work session,
Don't you mean December?
oh gosh, December, my goodness, wow, thank you. I was about to ask you, before we leave, if the board can just let me know if we do need another, Rob, are we interested in having another meeting simply because of the closure of the capital projects, or we decided that we could wait until January?
We can wait until that first meeting.
Okay, great.
We'll once you get to that and we're getting close, I'll just talk about that for a second and then I think probably just one other resolution that I'll come to the board with. We did manage to get most of them in under the wire, get them in the packet.
Okay, great. Okay, so we had our payment of claims for checks dated December 13th, 2023. Our adoption of minutes from November of 2023. Holly, thanks very much for your edits. Adoption of the monthly reports from November 2023. And authorization to approve year-end budget adjustments. The next are a series of authorizations to close our capital projects. Rob, do you just wanna talk about these?
So typically what we do in the past, we have borrowed every probably 3 to 5 years. And because we have pretty good cash flow with the town, we typically complete a project first and then borrow to fund it afterwards, just so we know the exact amount that we're gonna borrow for. A lot of times if you borrow before a project, like the downtown project, you don't know exactly what you're borrowing for. If you exceed those costs for whatever reason, then you've got to either go back and borrow again or take it from fund balance or whatever you're gonna do. So we talked over the summer after we released the financial statements and we had a pretty healthy fund balance, and I presented to the board a list of projects. I would come back to them and ask if we would fund using fund balance as opposed to borrowing, which would obviously save us a lot of money. So that's what these are. There's 5 projects that we're going to close. It's the Millwood Park lighting project, the fuel tank replacement at DPW, some in-house lawn cutting equipment, the community center roof, and some of those we are funding the balance. Some of them we received grants for, the Millwood Park lighting improvement project. We had a SAM grant for that. And further down here, we're authorizing a transfer of funds from the general fund for the Chapac roof replacement. We did get a SAM grant for that as well. And we're not gonna be able to close that quite yet because we haven't received that cash yet. But we do wanna move the funds into capital, so we got these done by the end of the year. I did talk to the auditor, he said it was okay, because we're not going to meet again for the rest of the month. And we didn't necessarily see the need to call you all in to just approve a resolution like this. So I will come back to you, first meeting of the year, the organizational meeting, probably with another resolution to transfer a few more dollars over.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Does the board have any questions on those capital projects? Okay, good. Next is authorization to purchase vacuum services for anthracite filter media removal for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant. Authorization to purchase guide rails for various town roads. And authorization for CPI and rate increases for municipal solid waste and recycling services. This is all part of our refuse and recycling contract. There is an annual CPI increase that the board needs to approve as part of the terms of the contract every year. Next is authorization to purchase a rooftop air conditioning system for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant. Authorization to approve the purchase of an expansion tank for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant. Authorization to utilize textile bin recovery services. We're hoping to be able to institute textile recycling at the recycling plant, so we're very excited over the prospect. Next is authorization to approve the purchase of a Mill Creek top dresser for recreation and parks, as well as a stainless steel spreader. This is all part of field maintenance. Next is a resolution authorizing the classification of 2017 to 2018 outstanding parking tickets as uncollectible. Our auditors have instructed us after 6 years that we have had tickets that are uncollectible, that we just we asked the board for a classification as uncollectible, and we're able to remove them from our books.
What does that mean, uncollectible?
It means that someone who was from out of state, rented a car, they got a parking ticket here, and we're never gonna be able to collect for it.
Means despite the court clerk's diligent efforts, they cannot recover the funds.
Got it.
Yeah, no, we've got collection agencies that are literally working on it. They get a percentage of what they are able to collect, so they're very motivated, but despite everybody's best efforts, it used to be that people didn't get new registrations as opposed to, close their registration and get a new one. One of the ways they avoid it, but it is what it is. You should speak to the court clerks about it, they will give you
I
the info.
have. I was told that we no longer suspend licenses anymore.
No, we
Thank
don't
you,
do
New
that.
York
That's
State,
New York
making it
State,
very
yeah,
difficult
that's
to
not us.
enforce some.
But we have been, we have been very we've been pretty aggressive in our parking tickets. We do not have
For
the
local
types of.
people too.
Well, the new company that is collecting them has been pretty active.
Yeah, so-
And the numbers are down significantly over the last, if you look, last 10 years, the amount of tickets that we've had to write off has shrunk.
Yeah, dramatically. Let's see, where were we? We have an authorization to approve a banner request for the school vote in May. And a resolution committing support for the Chapline multi-use trailway. Our grant application is due on January 9th. As Sabrina was reviewing the letters that we have, she felt that a stronger resolution was needed to be able to tie all the loose ends up to try to put us in the best possible position to get a grant, so fingers crossed. Next is
This gets
authorization,
approved.
excuse me?
I wanna be at the ribbon cutting. This eventually
Yes.
gets approved.
You'll melt the guy's ears, it gets approved.
You'll fly in from LA
Yes, we'll
for
talk about it, absolutely. Let's see, next was authorization to approve a change order number 2 for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant replacement project. They did note that when they removed the roof, that there was some additional insulation on the solar wall that needed to be replaced, and so we needed a change order for that. There's authorization to transfer funds from the general fund to balance the capital project for 2023. This is the the last capital project that Rob was talking about. We can't close the project because we haven't been reimbursed from the SAM grant yet, but we know that those monies are coming. And so that's all I have for work session. Does anyone have any other questions? On any of those items?
The number 18, the school vote banner, is that just their regular one? I didn't see it in the backup.
Yeah,
I think it's just the regular, there's
Yeah, school vote.
it's just
The regular
normal, they
school
just
vote.
do
It's
it.
just, they're just early.
They're always early,
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that it was for
School
May or
vote.
June, not something unusual. Okay.
No.
Yeah, they always do
Yeah.
it early, and I think the woman just does it as a matter of course, you know, like in finance
Oh, yeah,
department,
no.
just.
You know, Rotary's very good about that too.
Yeah.
They don't wanna forget it.
They don't wanna lose their spot, so
Yeah.
tend to be really busy.
Alright, any other questions? So can I have a motion to adjourn the work session?
I move to adjourn the work session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, unless someone needs a break, I'm gonna entertain a motion to open the town board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, welcome everybody to the town board meeting of December 12th, 2023, the last one of the year. And my last one, unfortunately. Any announcements, Jill?
So Code Red goes away on Friday. We have been trying very hard to advertise the fact that we are upgrading our emergency alert system. We are moving from Code Red, which we have been with for the last 10 years, to the e-alert system. We previously were able to send residents who had signed up both emails and text messages from Code Red. Over the course of the 10 years, we're now only able to send out emails. With that, we have about 4,000 emails that we're able to alert people. For example, over the weekend, we had a water main break in the Stanwood area, and we were tremendously disappointed to find out that even though there were over 60 homes that lost water, we had 12 contacts through Code Red and only 6 contacts through e-alert system. That means that in total, at most, we were able to only contact 18 people out of 60. So we ended up bringing in staff to knock on doors, go door to door, and make sure that people knew that we understood that there was a water problem, that they were gonna have low pressure water until the water ultimately got turned off so that we could actually fix the leak and then turn the water back on. But it is really imperative, and we're concerned that despite the fact that we have sent out a number of Code Red messages alerting people to the fact that this is closing, that it's been in your supervisor's report, that it is on the homepage of our e-newsletter. You literally can't get into our website without clicking on that you need to, sign up for the new system.
It's on the electronic sign.
Yes, we only have 1,500 people signed up for our new system.
Well, when everyone's taxes are late.
Right, I know, but it's very disconcerting to us. We are going to be sending out a Code Red message reminding people about the about taxes on Thursday. And we will be reminding them that they will not be getting any further reminders unless they enter into the alert system, but it's it's sort of like critical time at this point.
Jill,
So
have we thought about, and I know that it's not free, but doing like a postcard or something?
So we may end up having to do a postcard. We actually put an e-alert reminder in the refuse and recycling calendar that went out, so it goes to every one of the
Oh,
homes.
that was a good idea.
And this is like one of the few pieces of mail that you get from the town that most people hold on to.
Yep.
Because they wanna know when their Christmas tree pickup is and when how holidays are gonna affect their refuse and recycling schedule. So we've tried that, but otherwise we will try a postcard as well. It's just most people, don't really pay attention to mail that comes. But we have been trying for the past 2 months to get the word out. So once again, please sign up for e-alerts. Winter is coming. your school tax bills are due, it is a 10% penalty if you miss the January 31st deadline. It is a significant penalty. It is the worst day of the year for us in the tax office, and we really don't want anyone to fall into that trap. So please help us help you. And
And when
last,
when they petition the town board to waive the penalty, the town board is unable to do that because you didn't sign up for e-alert. So
you're absolutely right.
you're not gonna have any remedy.
It is what it is. It's really a shame. And just reminding people that we will be closed on the 24th and 25th for the Christmas holiday and January 1st. And we wish everybody a great holiday and Happy New Year. See you next year.
Do you mean the 25th and the 26th?
Sorry, 25th, 26th.
Yep.
That's what happens when you ask Jill Shapiro to tell you about the Christmas holiday.
You
My
still wish us a
apologies.
happy new year?
Sorry.
New Year still works. Yeah, I got it.
All right, thank you. A couple other announcements. The town, the holiday stroll was moved from last Sunday because of weather. It will now be this Sunday in the Chappaqua Hamlet from, I believe, 2 to 5. It's gonna be in the newsletter. There is caroling, the holiday Christmas tree lighting. There'll be hot chocolate and ice sculptures and Santa and everything you could possibly want from a holiday stroll, including shopping local. That's all gonna be this Sunday, so please be there. I think the weather's supposed to be nice. And which brings me to making sure before Christmas, it's still Hanukkah, and before Christmas, if you have any gifts, it would be great if you shopped local and showed the love to our merchants in our hamlets, because they show the love to us throughout the year, so let's make sure we give it back to them. From Community Corner, I just wanted, it was in my newsletter, but I just wanted the town once again to send our condolences to the family and friends of Charlie Bergstrom, a very long time town employee. He was a fire chief and beloved by everyone who knew him in town. There was a parade, going through town, a procession, not a parade, through town on Friday, which was lovely. There were so many people at the funeral home, and so I just wanna send condolences to friends and family. Okay, and also I wanted to, on a personal note, just thank all the residents of this community for allowing me the opportunity to serve you for the last decade. I am going to miss you all. But maybe not on Tuesday nights. I will be drinking wine and watching you all on television. So I wanted to thank you. I have something a little more fulsome that'll be in the supervisor's report, but I just wanted to thank everyone. All right, and that being said, we're gonna move to public comment and new business. If there's anyone here who has public comment or new business who would like to speak,
I'm happy to go first, or if you want.
Oh, I don't have a public comment.
come on up. If you could just say your name and address.
Certainly. My name is Matthew Excel. I live on Garden Ridge Road in Chappaqua, and please feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. It might go faster. Otherwise, I'm just reading some prepared stuff. I would like to speak on behalf of the Chappaqua Park Owners Association, which is the group that owns most of the houses on Garden Ridge Road and the east end of Old Lime Road. I'm also speaking on behalf of some of the other homeowners in our community. Recently, in response to the recommendations of a security consultancy, the Chappaqua Central School District has built a very tall fence around Grafflin, and some of their other properties as well. The fence at Grafflin abuts property owned by the members of the Chappaqua Park Owners Association. All of us, new owners, new to the community, folks that have been in the community for over 40 years, have enjoyed walking to the school, walking our children to the school, walking grandchildren to the school, to the playground, to the ball fields, and from there into town. When our neighborhood was built, the town retained ownership of a 10-foot wide Garden Ridge path to ensure that members of the community could walk to the school. That's an activity that fosters community, less driving, less pollution, less traffic at drop-off for Grafflin, lots of good things. That is why this town retained ownership of a strip of land in the midst of a residential community. That path also connects that neighborhood from Grafflin to the sidewalks into town. The sidewalks in Newcastle and at Grafflin, that's our access to this. My oldest son walked to kindergarten. He continued to walk to those fields after graduation from Greeley with his friends to throw a ball around. My youngest son, until recently, walked home from Bell and walked along that path as well. Now there's a fence, he can't do that. Our boys walked to the library, they walked to the pizza places in town, they didn't need a ride. There was access. That's part of why we purchased houses in this community. Further, this fence is very high. It's at least 8 feet tall, and on top it has what looks like barbed wire. I'm told it's not actually barbed wire. From our homes, it's ugly to look at. From the inside of the school property, it looks like you're in a prison with high walls and a high fence. I know that the school district is distinct from the town. They can do what they want on their land. But that land is subject to easements and public rights of way. What I'm asking is for the town to investigate the town-owned Garden Ridge Path and any other easements relating to access from that path onto the school property. I will tell you, in addition to the Garden Ridge Path, there are multiple other paths along Old Lyme Road that also had access to the school. They're not near where my house is. I can't speak to the specifics of that. The school has a locked gate in the back of the fence, nowhere near the municipal path. There's no plans to ever unlock that gate. If a fire hits the school on evenings and weekends or time when there's no one actually in the school and the school's not in session, there's no one to open that lock. That's a major safety hazard that we'll also be taking to the fire department. Just imagine a car fire blocking the driveway to Grafflin. There's one way in and out with an incredibly tall fence. If there's no one in the school working for the district who has the key to that lock, that's a huge problem. The school district plan, I've spoken to them, is to continue the fence around Grafflin so that the driveway is the only way in or out. There's a municipal crosswalk far up Route 120 from the driveway that leads to another path to the school. That crosswalk on school days is manned by a town police officer and serves the residents of the Hillholm neighborhood. When the district finishes their fence, even more of our community, the people that walk to school, won't be able to do so, and we'll have a municipal crosswalk that leads to a dead end with nothing to do on the other side. This unwanted fence endangers our children, it hurts our sense of community. The real estate listings for all of our properties used to describe walk to town, walk to school. That no longer becomes true. That affects home values, also gives us an opportunity to grieve property taxes, as long as I know my audience. There have been many meetings in the town hall over the past 40 years about the path and maintaining walking access to the school property from this community. And we ask for your help now in investigating how best to return to that state. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you. You did send us this email.
Yes,
We are looking into it.
thank you.
You are correct that we do have that ownership of that path. We still do. There's even a nice little sign. Our ownership ends at the school property.
Yes, I'm aware of that. But the question is, are there any easements in the same way that,
I'm gonna refer to Jill because she's been looking into it more, but one thing before you say anything, I also urge you, I'm sure you've done this already, but to make sure you go speak out at the school board meetings as well.
so that is a long time in the future. I've spoken to the assistant superintendent for business. It is the school district's position that they built the fence on their property. They're happy to move the fence in the event that they're legally required to do so, but otherwise they don't care. They're not soliciting input. Thank you very much. For example, I built a fence on my own property. I knocked on my neighbor's door, said, "Hey neighbor, I'm building a fence. I'm letting you know I'm doing it. And I'm gonna tell you, does this day work for you? Cause like if you're working out of your house, the construction noise is loud, we can maybe do it another day." The district did not notify anyone, they didn't mail postcards, they didn't knock on doors. And when I brought that up, they said, "We apologize, but we don't have to." So
You're an excellent neighbor, let's just say that. Jill, I know you've been a little more immersed in this than I have, but we have been looking at this
Thank you.
because it's,
Right,
And
yeah,
this,
thanks.
by the way, this also affects, they put a fence around the back of the high school. I know there's a community there. I can't speak to all of the various fences. One of the advantages of the Chappaqua Park Owners Association is because we pay taxes as a association, we have an email list of everybody who we have to solicit from. So it was quick and easy to get all of those names. For the rest of the town, obviously it's more work.
Yeah, so thanks very much.
Thank you.
I took and I did my due diligence. I located the deeds. Lauren Cascone, the deputy town clerk, helped me out. We were able to locate them. We forwarded them to council. There are easements there. I don't know what effect education law has on land use law. I remember my easements from property law. John, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but I do know that our attorneys are looking into it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to it at this meeting, but there's different permutations.
Sure.
You know, there's and we've litigated this, so we'll take a good look at it.
Thank you very much.
I mean, you know, there's not just easement or adverse possession.
Yeah, and
There's a couple different ways
I guess my
around
real
this and-
purpose here is what's next. I mean, should I come back to a town board meeting? Should we schedule a meeting where you guys can tell us whatever you find? Should I do something? Should I wait for you to do something? I'm not familiar with this.
yeah,
Any
so,
guidance you
well,
can offer and how this works,
Let's
please?
let's hear what our council has to say, because one of the
Okay.
things that they're, you know, if this was not a school neighbor, if this was just a regular neighbor, different answer. But
Sure.
I don't know what school law, they sort of have a universe of their own. If your neighbor was not a school, it was another neighbor, you would have to, you know, build only a 6-foot, we only allow 6-foot fences in town. You would have to put the good side out, bad side would have to be to you would have to stake the property and make sure
Certainly.
that it was actually on your property. School districts sort of operate in a different universe, and so I'm not all that familiar with it, so we're gonna let our council take and do some research for us and let us know how the fact that the neighbor is a school district changed that. And of course, you know, you're invoking a security concern, that they're invoking a security concern, so I know that trumps a lot. It doesn't trump everything, but it does trump a lot. So we will get back to you as soon as we hear from council. I gave this to him last week, or
Like
last
right after
Wednesday
you
maybe?
wrote to us.
Thank
Right
you.
after you wrote to us, because the first thing we did was I was here when new owners came into the Garden Ridge trail, and they specifically came to the board and they said, you know, we're a new neighbor, we don't know anything about this, we're gonna fence our property. And we were like, you can't fence your property, you must allow people to walk by. We took and we cleared the path, we took and we erected that sign that Lisa, it looks like a peace
Yeah.
pole. It says Garden Ridge Path and it announces it to everybody so everybody could walk through, and we weren't notified about anything about the gate or the fence as well, so.
Right, we
you were the
first heard
first
about it when you told
through
us.
you. So
Gotcha.
we'll let you know, but I
So
have to
I
tell
guess
you,
I should
just,
assume 2 weeks to a month and then you'll email me back, or?
yeah, I would certainly think
Okay.
by the first of the year that we'll have something for you. But I have to tell you, just because, you know, you sort of got a summary dismissal from somebody at the school district doesn't mean that you shouldn't express yourself to the school district. Show up at the meeting.
Thank you, I appreciate that. As I said, we probably will. We'd prefer to show up there with the
Something in
force of the
hand,
law
right?
rather than just the force of indignation.
Both
I want you guys at my back.
Might need both.
Both should be used.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
All right, any other public comment, new business?
We have a hand raised online.
In person, anyone here? All right, Cynthia? Hi,
Hi, can you see me or hear me?
we can hear you, we don't see you.
Hi, it's Cynthia Manichargan, 100 Glendale Road. I am reaching out to you for a few reasons. First, Lisa, I wanted to thank you for your service. I know you're moving on, but I appreciate your interest and involvement over the years.
Thank you.
Then all of these comments kind of tie together, but I don't know if you're aware of an application for a solar farm at the yeshiva. But if you're not, I'd like the town board to get involved. They submitted an 800-page application that needs special permits. They want to cut down like 2,000 plus trees. They have very steep slopes. They have kind of a not great history in the community. And I just feel like projects like this need more oversight. I think it's with the planning board. And we need to look at all of these developers who want special permits, especially in environmentally sensitive zones. And I get solar farm requests all the time. I'm in an R2A zone, and they want me to sell my land or rent my land and cut down all the trees. And I wonder if we shouldn't do a deep dive into the solar farm legislation, or even if Newcastle currently has a strong solar farm statement and legislation. Do you know?
So we looked at solar years ago, and I do think there was something about farms in there, but I can't recall right now.
So I do know that the application is before the building department. I don't believe it has actually been submitted to the planning board yet.
Okay.
I think it was recently. I saw, by accident, I saw the document online under planning board submissions.
Yeah, they have a long way to go. Our staff is looking at it very, very carefully. We have new counsel, they're looking at it with us. We have some significant concerns about the application and have identified some significant issues that must be addressed before the application can go anywhere. So it will be it'll be a while before there's any movement on this at all.
Well, in the meantime, would Newcastle consider looking into solar farm legislation?
Yeah, absolutely. We would certainly look at that.
And let's pull up also what we did in the past, because I know, I don't think
did
it's
do
a
some.
deep dive into solar farm legislation, but I know it references solar farms in there. So-
And I always get confused, Portland or Croton, one of them seems to have put together solar farm legislation that the residents are quite happy with, just an FYI.
I'm sorry,
Happy or
unhappy
unhappy?
or unhappy, yeah, I could.
Happy.
Happy with, oh, okay.
Happy.
So you thought that was either Cortland or?
Croton.
Croton.
Okay, we'll find that.
So, and then moving on to, one of my favorite topics that ties in, the tree preservation ordinance. I still think that the town should look into, at least 2 different zones, because the West End just is a very different landscape and the use of the land is different. It's an environmental, biodiversity corridor. So I'm wondering in the next year whether that could be looked at. We're more rural, you're more suburban, and I think that the tree preservation ordinance really focuses on suburban issues.
So
And that would help with the solar farm clear cutting, because solar farms need to clear cut areas to install their solar panels.
So Cynthia, I know the Conservation Board was looking at that, but I haven't heard anything on that in quite a while. So we'll circle up with them and see what where they are on that.
Okay, and the last thing has to do, I love that you offer public comment, and I wish that the zoning board and the planning board did too, because I understand you can go and comment on active applications, but once an application is approved, there's no way to come and talk with either board as boots on the ground about what the community is seeing, what the community has become concerned with. No more ability to have dialogue. So I would love it if they would consider adding public comment to their agendas. That is not about a current application.
But whether or not they do that, you should definitely email those boards, and you can find all of their information on the website. If you have concerns about any project that's been approved or that's happening, but certainly if there are issues in terms of building or violations, you should be contacting our building inspector.
That's right, so that's the rub, is that once the approval has been given,
Mm-hmm.
the matter moves from those planning board, that zoning board, to our building department, to our engineer to make sure that the terms and the conditions are met, and our building inspector ensures that, and if there's violations, he'll deal with the violations, and the engineer makes sure through inspections that everything is taken care of. So it isn't really the purview of the planning board or the zoning board to take public comment after an application has closed. The authority for overseeing that project then shifts back to our staff. So Cynthia, if there are issues that you are having after an application, those should be reported to the town planner, the town engineer, the building inspector. John?
And if there are, serious issues of concern, don't the planning board and the zoning board have the right to revoke their approvals?
No, I mean, no, what happens is those boards have a very finite jurisdiction. They vote yay or nay on a particular application that's before them. And that's their action. If there's something comes to light that they run afoul of it, that's a violation for the town. If they're acting outside site plan approval or beyond a variance that was granted, or those, that board just votes on the particular application before them. That's really all they deal with. A finite number of applications on the board at that point, they act and they move on. They don't sort of retain jurisdiction over that to sort of govern the construction process or the compliance with the approval that's issued. That's the building department.
Okay, I thank you for your time. I wish you all good holidays and a happy new year.
You
Thank
too.
you too.
Thank you.
Bye, Cynthia.
Bye.
All right, is there anyone else online who has a public comment or new business?
No other hands.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well then we're gonna move right to our resolutions unless there's anything else, Jill, that we need to discuss. All right, Holly, you wanna start?
Yes, as soon as I find the paper. Thank you.
I'm sorry about the tomato stain.
Tomato stains and all, I move to adopt the items 1 through 21 as listed on the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $1,452,307.85 listed on the summary pre-check writing report and detail voucher detail report, both dated December 12th, 2023. Checks will be issued and mailed to each claimant listed on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize a pay increase for Don Stickler at the rate of $19 an hour and Kathy Hildenbrand at the rate of $17 per hour, who serve as recreation attendants within the Recreation and Parks Department effective January 1st, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the hiring of Daniel Fioretti for the position of recreation attendant to serve as a ski trip chaperone within the Recreation and Parks Department at the rate of $15 per hour effective January 5th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the hiring of Jorlyn Arias for the position of recreation attendant to serve in the youth basketball program within the Recreation and Parks Department at the rate of $16 per hour effective January 2nd, 2024.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to accept the resignation of Howard Dubbs as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals effective December 31st, 2023. The town would like to thank Howard for his years of dedicated service.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So I move to adopt the below detailed resolution to adopt the preliminary budget and salary schedule amended as per attached and the final budget for the fiscal year of 2024. Do I have to read anything? I'm good.
These resolutions.
Do you want me to read this?
Yeah.
Further resolved that the 2024 final budget for the general and highway funds set forth a total tax levy of $17,424,408. And be it further resolved that the 2024 final budget for the solid waste district renews the annual dwelling unit charge of $625.31 per residential unit. And be it further resolved that with regard to the condominium complexes with adequate refuse storage capacity as determined by the Commissioner of Public Works, the 2023 final budget for the
Four.
solid waste.
Hold on a second.
Twenty
Twenty
2024.
final budget for the solid waste renewal?
Yes, should be
Yes.
2024.
Okay, sorry.
Apologize, the 2024 final budget for the solid waste district renews the annual dwelling unit charge of $625.31 per condominium residential unit for those condominiums which will remain or change to once a week collection, and be it further resolved that with regard to condominium complexes with limited refuse storage capacity as determined by the Commissioner of Public Works, the 2024 final budget for the solid waste district renews the annual dwelling unit charge of $375.19 per condominium residential unit for those condominiums which will remain a twice a week collection.
I second.
All in favor?
Vicky, you want me to finish this page?
Go ahead.
I move to adopt the policy regarding the use of town property infrastructure as attached here too. Do you want
As revised.
as revised? Do you want me to read it? No? Okay.
Okay, I second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move to approve the creation of an expendable trust account entitled the Senior Program Expendable Fund for the purpose of accepting monetary donations for the use and benefit of the senior program of the town of Newcastle.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the official statement of votes cast and canvassed in the town of Newcastle at the special election of December 6, 2023 to establish a service award program for active volunteer members for the Chappaqua Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to terminate the appointment of employee number 3014, a provisional staff member serving in the title of Recreation Supervisor effective December 12th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I move, yeah,
Can we discuss this?
We also have another one appointing Robert Fleischer. The dates on that resolution, I'm sorry, they're
we
incorrect.
have it.
No, they're
Right.
incorrect.
Yeah, they're not
Oh.
correct. It's January 1, 2023 to December 31st, 2026, so that it falls in line with the county appointments.
So it's a 3-year term?
I thought it was a 2-year term.
So apparently the county appoints people for 3-year terms.
A year already passed though.
So the new term would expire in 2026.
Okay, so
Right,
yours
because
are.
we're
But
starting with
it's another 2
January.
years.
It's 2 years, that's starting now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
starting now.
So
Could be
it's
revised.
January 2023 through
Right, so
And
it's
this
2 more years.
2026.
And this should be
Okay.
for a 3-year term then, rather than
Yes.
say a 2-year term.
But they're two
Yes,
more
I
years.
apologize.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I move to approve the appointment of Robert Fleischer to the Westchester County Airport Advisory Board for a 3-year term effective retroactively from January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2026, subject to the approval of Westchester County.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, anything else?
I think that's it. We did this one. Yes, I think that's it.
Okay, can I have a motion to wish everyone a happy new year and to adjourn?
So moved.
You sure?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.